Hi, this is Mr. Long. Sometimes it's hard to see the effect of the money that you donate, but I want to share a personal story with you that shows the power of every cent that you donate and the effect that it has on not just a single person, but on a whole family.
Hello, this is Ori Severett with the Wolfpack Press. Sitting down with Mr. Long, the English 9 teacher here at Wood Creek High School. Give us a little background information about yourself.
I've been here at Wood Creek since January now and loving every minute of it. It's a great school, great kids, great staff. It's a great place to be.
Tell us a little bit about your sister.
My sister, she was born handicapped. She was born with basically a stroke, which shut down part of her brain, and she was born mentally retarded, and she was told that she wouldn't live past 10 or 11 years old, and that it'd be a hard life for her. And when she was 12, which she wasn't even supposed to make it that far, but she found out that she had leukemia, which was basically cancer in your bone marrow, and they told her that it would most likely she wouldn't survive it, and it would be 2 years of chemotherapy to see if they could try to get rid of it, and that was probably the toughest time of our lives.
Yeah. How was your life growing up with her?
In all reality, it was the only reality I knew. She required being at a special school, and it focused more on life skills than it did so much on really being a regular academic school like we all go to. She had a seizure disorder that when she would have a seizure, it would shut down her body for anywhere from a few minutes to as fast as we could get her to the hospital. And growing up, we spent a few Christmases in hospitals and had some tough times, but on the whole though, she always required someone to be with her, so we got to spend a lot of time with her, and she tends to make everybody happy around her because she's probably the most happy person you'll ever meet.
If you can describe her in one word, what would that be?
My one word would probably be happy. She's the happiest person that I know. We tend to get caught up in the little things and how they affect us, and how even some small things are bad, and how she always looks at everything in a positive way. Even the littlest, tiniest things make her happy. Like, she could watch the same Barney video every day over and over and over and still be surprised and happy when Barney turns into a real dinosaur. So it's a good way.
When was your sister first diagnosed with cancer, and how did family and friends respond to this?
She was first diagnosed when she was 12. We found out, and again, they decided right away, or they told us right away not to be too optimistic about it. And so our friends and family, one thing, my mom had read a story about what were called Tibetan prayer flags. And what it was in Tibet, people would write their prayers on a little flag and then climb up the mountains, because they got the tallest mountains in the world there, and they would take them up and tie them on top of the mountains onto strings so that they'd be closer to God. So what my mom asked everybody to do was, instead of sending get well cards, she asked them to make flags that just had good wishes on them and prayers for her. And so all her family and friends, her entire school, our entire church, everybody we knew made one of these prayer flags for her, and we strung them all together. They ended up being about a half-mile long, over about 400 or 500 of these individual flags. That each of them was just a prayer for her to get better and for her to make it past the cancer.
So how is your sister? Where is she today?
Last year was a big landmark for her. They say after you get chemotherapy that you have about 50-50 chance of it coming back and it having to do the entire process over again. Last year actually was her 5-year mark since the cancer went into remission. It was completely gone from her body for 5 years, They say that if it's gone for 5 years, there's a 99% chance that it won't ever come back. So that was a big step for us. And currently today, she's in a special adult art school for students who are too old to be in high school, but just not ready for the real world. So it's funded by the state, and it lets her feel like she has a purpose. She's creating art for people, and they're helping develop still living skills for her, and she's still the happiest person that I know.
Awesome. How has knowing her influenced the way you live your life?
I've always learned from her just that since you never know what could happen or how long any of us will be here, just to go after whatever we want. I've always believed that I would be a good baseball player, and I pursued it, and just because I did, I ended up getting drafted and getting to play professionally. So she just taught me that if you want something, go get it, and if you don't, well, at least you tried. So that was the biggest lesson.
Why should students support the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and how could they get involved?
I don't think the students always see how much they really impact situations like this and charities like this. I mean, we call it pennies for patients, but the pennies add up. If we get 10 students collecting $1 each, that's $10. If we get 10 classes getting 10 students to give $1 each, that's $100. And they just don't realize how big a scale this is. And so, at the same time, students don't always realize how much of an impact they're having on someone's lives. They see that, oh yeah, it's charity and cool, I feel good about myself that I did something good. But they don't realize really what they're doing. On a lot of levels, I feel like when students donate to this, they're donating to a cause that not only saved my sister's life, but I think maybe saved our lives as well. So each individual student matters. Each individual donation matters more than people know.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for this interview.
Hey, it was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Hey, you can't steal my line.